Hi everyone, my name is Katrina and I'm from Camden Libraries, and today I'm going to be doing an origami tutorial called the Lotus Topper. So the first origami I'm going to be making is actually called a shuttle box, and we put that together. And the second origami that I'm going to show you is a lotus topper. So it's something that will fold into the box but give the top of its appearance looking like a lotus flower. It's beautiful, so let's give it a go. So the first one is to make a shuttle box like this, and the other is to make a lotus topper just like this one, which at the end we'll slide into and make a beautiful box. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am using a square sheet of paper. It is 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. And this shuttle box, I'm going to make two of them. So I have a bottom and a lid. And when I made the lid, I used a sheet of paper that was 14.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. So there's a little bit of difference so that one could slide into the other. Let's get started with this origami, shall we? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this sheet of paper into a triangle. So we take one point and fold it over to the one opposite, and we fold it down. This is a little tool I'm going to be using to make my creases nice and crisp. It's a boning tool used in scrapbooking, so I had it lying around. Once you've done that first crease, I want you to go ahead and do the crease in the opposite direction. So we're taking the other point, taking it out to the opposite point as well, and we're folding on that line. So we have the two folds there looking like a really nice cross shape. The next step you're going to do is we're going to take all of these corners and we're going to fold them into the center. So here is the first one, just like that. And I want you to go around and do all of the corners. So we're taking the point to the middle and we're making that crease nice and crisp. So as you fold, it's going to look like a smaller square. Okay, so once you have it like this, I want you to unfold all of these little flaps, just like this. So we are back to the original square. And I want you to fold these tips in on themselves. So first little tip and crease it down. The second one and crease it down. So that's how it's going to look. So all of our points, we did them into a big triangle, and now we're folding them in half and doing a little triangle. Okay. Once you have done that to all four sides, fold those in. So you're going to have what looks like a little square. I then want you to flip it over. So we're going to be working from this side where it's nice and clean and it doesn't have any folds, unlike this side. So once you flip it over, I want you to bring the bottom edge up and I want you to bring it to the middle and fold down. I want you to next bring the top edge, this bit here, and bring it into the middle, just the same as the piece we did beforehand. Excellent job. So once you have folded these in half, I want you to open them back up and I want you to fold it in half the other direction. There we go, just like that. Now this next bit's a little bit trickier, but just stick with me. So we're going to pull this flap up so we can see the little tag that we tucked in earlier. We're going to fold these triangles up and out of the way so they're going to be nicely tucked. And it's going to end up looking like this. Okay, now I want you to fold this back over There we go. So we have this type of shape. And now I want you to do the same with the other side. So we flip this bit up and we fold these two flaps in, these two triangles. There we go. And then we tuck that back down. So we want a shape that looks like this. Now to make it a box, all you've got to do is wriggle your fingers into the gap here. That's it, and pull it out. And sit it down. And when you sit it down, you see that you've actually got this really cool box shape. Just like that. So this is one that I made earlier. And this is the smaller one. So it's just that little bit smaller, so it slips in perfectly. And so we have our box. But it's a bit plain looking. So what we're going to do is we're going to decorate it a little bit by making a lotus flower topper. I'll show you how to do it. This is some of my traditional origami paper. And the reason I'm using this right now is because, one, it's pretty, but two, it doesn't have any colour on the background. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. Alright, so I want you to fold it in a triangle again. Take one tip to the opposite corner and fold. Now, for this project, we're going to be making a lot of folds. And so that everything comes away nice and it's easy to fold, the crisper your edges are, the better. It means everything will fold nicer. Once you've done that, I want you to fold it in the opposite direction. So take the tip, line it up with the other one, press down. There's the fold, and again, we're just running over the edge to make it nice and crisp. I want you to then open up your sheet of paper, and I want you to take these corners and we're going to fold them into the middle. So this point should reach up with the middle of the cross of folds that we've just made. Go around in a circle, making all of those creases nice and crisp. So go round, making sure that all 4 points are nicely folded inside. So we're going to go from our big square of paper down to this medium sized. The next step is we're going to fold the corners in one more time. So fold the corners in again, making our creases nice and crisp. Now, some of you might be finding that everything is not lining up exactly. So because every time we fold the paper, we make it a little bit thicker. So there might be a little bit of a gap in between one triangle to the other. That is okay. A little bit of gap is expected. You don't want to make huge gaps so that you no longer see the shape, but little gaps are fine. You can see just here, I've got a little gap between those, and that's okay. So what I would like you to do now is I'd like you to flip it over to a small square, and now we're going to make it a tiny square. I want you to fold the triangles in again. So, and this is why making all of our creases nice and crisp comes in help, because it makes it a lot easier to make these smaller folds. Now, if you're having trouble with this, don't give up. Just get a new bit of paper and try again. If you're really unsure, you can always start with a bigger sheet of paper, a bit of computer paper, a plain paper. You don't have to start off with this really pretty paper. That's just my choice. So now we have this teeny tiny square, okay? So what we are going to do is we are going to turn it over. So we want this side with the squares, and we're leaving this side with the triangles. So this side with the squares, we're going to fold all of these flaps up into triangles. This is all about squares and triangles in this one. Okay. Now you can see already it's starting to come together. You've got these little flaps. What I want you to do is these ones down here, you'll find that there's flaps. I want you to fold those over as well. So those little squares that you can see, if you fold them into triangles as well, you will soon discover that what you have actually done is folded lots and lots of layers of petals, just like you would see on a lotus flower. Now, we don't want this great big white space, but we just want these little flaps to sit up because they're part of the flower, and we want these ones to sit up as well. A little trick that I've done so that you can get this the way that you like, a little trick that you can use is you can use the pen lid and you can just curl that tip around your pen lid, so then this flap actually becomes curled like a flower. So you see less white space, more colour and more dimension in the shape. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that to all of my little centre petals, as I'm calling them, because this shape is a lotus flower. There we go. Now here comes the cool part. Here was our shuttle box from earlier, and I'm going to make it a nice little pretty present box. So what we're going to do, these 4 big triangles here, they are going to be our tabs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on the bigger box here, there's a little slip in between there. So that's where I'm going to do it, because this bit of paper, as you remember, started off 15 centimetres by 15. So it is always meant to slide into the box with the same dimensions that it started off with. Once you get all your little tabs tucked in there, can be a little bit tricky, but just persist. It will sit in that box, and you now have a lotus topped box that is a great little gift for someone. You can still open up the bottom, so it is still a box, and you could put a gift inside there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you liked this origami tutorial and that you give it a go. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.